welcome to another episode of my bucket list day. So here we are. Look at this building behind me as we let a motorcycle go by. Where am I at? Does anybody know? Some of you already know where this is. This is actually the corporate headquarters of MORryde. Yep, MORryde. And we're going to go on a tour with Jack Infield. He's going to take us around, kind of a personal tour, just he and I. And we're going to go over all the new products and some of the products I think you guys should be upgrading to. Before we get into all this, go ahead and watch this intro and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. As we see, we're at MORryde factory, and kind of a busy place. So I think right now the DVR RV Owners Club is here taking a tour. But as you see, we're going to have a private tour here at MORryde with Jack. We'll let that truck go by. So Jack Infield is the Director of Marketing and Sales, and he's going to take us on a private tour, just he and I, behind the scenes on the factory and everything that they do here, and you're going to be pretty impressed. I was very surprised. They did a lot more than RV parts and accessories. They do stuff for boats and so many other industries. For example, they made hospital beds for several hospitals around the country. They do all sorts of fabricating for all sorts of industries. So very impressed, had no idea they did all this stuff. They also do a bunch of Jeep accessories for those of you Jeepers out there. I used to be a former Jeeper before I got the fifth wheel. But at any rate, it's a very impressive company. So let's meet Jack, and he's going to take us around and show us what they all do here. And some of the technology they use, you're going to be very, very impressed.
So we will be one of the largest fabricators in the country because we're going to see 30 lasers that we have. We have 7 tube lasers. We have an entire building that is nothing but robotic welders, probably 25 robots. We have 2 large powder coat stations. One of them is a giant 7-stage wash. We have press brakes. I'm going to show you a robotic press brake here. So lots and lots of fabrication. Sometimes fabrication can appear to be really technical. To me, fabrication is like when I was in 3rd grade art class.
Right.
So I had my art box, and when I opened it up, I had scissors, and I had my Elmer's glue stick. And what I did is I took my construction paper, and I took my scissors, and I cut it out. And then it was time to fold it. So I folded it. And then I got my glue out and I glued it together, and those guys, we made those little triangular footballs and shot them across the desk and kicked field goals. So to me, fabrication is just like 3rd grade art class.
Right.
We have scissors, only they're called lasers. We fold it, it's with press brakes. We glue it, and it's with welding. And then we kind of clean it up with powder coating and stuff. So let's go this way. We'll show you the first round of lasers. Okay, so these are our scissors. We do a lot of flat cutting on sheet, on aluminum, on steel. We can go up to 1/2 inch, but our sweet spot is 1/4 and below, because that's mostly what our customers use. Right. And all the laser is, it's just a way for us to cut it. So again, I jokingly call it scissors. The advantage of it is once we program it, it's going to do the same thing over and over and over. When we give tours, we tell people that RV is so complicated, you can't inspect quality in the line. You got to do it every step of the way. So it's quality from the ground up. So for us, that means having the right equipment. So every part, every component part that's laser cut, we know the tolerances are going to be very, very tight. And we really want to fight what we call tolerance stack up. We don't want one part to be a little bit out here and another part out here, and all of a sudden, things don't work quite well together. So flatbed laser, we've got a few different parts on this. what we're trying to do is, it's called nesting. We want to get as much and as many parts out of a sheet of material.
Sure.
During the inflationary run, which we're still in, but during coming out of COVID, steel went from a historical average of 33, 34 cents a pound to almost $1 a pound. And so all of a sudden, this was really important to get as much as you can, because you were selling it for scrap for 25 cents.
Right.
But it was costing you 99 cents. And so you needed to get every part. So with lasers, we can program it and use up all the dead space. This is a great nest here. Some nests aren't so good because the parts don't quite fit it in. There's a company called Palomino Paws is the brand. And what they're doing is off-road trailers.
Okay.
And so MORryde has worked with them, in which we are manufacturing the frame, the suspension, and many, many other components. And it's an air suspension system. It's independent wheel action. It has 12 inches of travel, and it really allows you to go off-road over logs and rocks and all over the place to get to areas that you could not get with a conventional travel trailer or fifth wheel. So
right.
Here we're getting ready to ship our next batch of 4. They've been researching it for 2 years, in production for probably the last 6 to 8 months. And so again, it's called the Palomino Paws, and they have some amazing videos on what you can do with it.
Well, and I'm seeing really big wheels, single axle.
Yep. So they have a few different floor plans. This is their newest one, single axle. They have a tandem axle floor plan.
Okay.
And they're adding floor plan models to it as well. Different material. They do a destruct test on their walls that is just flat out, you can't even imagine. They take literally a hammer to it, a ball peen, and you cannot dent it.
Oh, like military
yeah,
stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I'll go online, look them up, and show you some pictures of the unit right here.
Yeah. So again, after fabrication, or as part of the fabrication process, we've used our scissors and we've cut things. Now we're going to fold it.
Yeah.
And folding is just a matter of using press brakes to bend the material. So we probably have somewhere in the 40 to 45 press brakes. Everything from small parts to large parts. The advantage of what we're doing, it's air bending. We're not smashing the material. And we can hold much tighter tolerances. We can hold plus or minus half a degree on a 90-degree bend. And what that just allows us to do is just, again, prevent that tolerance stack up. So this component is used in the non-RV application. This would be for either wheelchair lifts or vehicles with wheelchair lifts.
Very cool.
So again, just a wide range of parts, sometimes smaller, sometimes larger.
So I bet you guys didn't know MORryde created or made all these other parts for other industries.
It's literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands every year. And you're not lucky.
Oh, we don't have a robot moving.
So this is a robotic press brake. The way it works, a couple stations. Actually, maybe you will see. So this first one, so we laser cut the parts.
Right.
And they get put into these bends. And so the first robot, she's going to tell it exactly what to do. The first robot is going to pick up the part.
So it's a pick up and place robot.
Yep. It's going to go over to where that red thing is. It's going to take a picture of it. Then it's going to put it on a table. Here you are looking. Now it's prepped for the next robot to come in and pick it up. And then do the actual bending itself. This robot lends itself to smaller parts with multiple bends. The advantage of it, again, is consistent quality. It's going to do the same thing over and over and over. There's also a speed element. So for example, not too long ago, there's a part that had 8 bends on it. If we'd have done it manually, it would have taken almost 3 minutes. It was less than 50 seconds here.
Right.
So much quicker. And once it's gone to the second robot, once they bend it, then it's going to go to a part, to a bend over there. Up against the back wall is the tooling. So again, it can be small parts. There's a size limitation on what we can do. But this is for high quantity. We do a lot of step parts on this. A lot of other smaller component parts. Here you can see she's doing a quality check before we start the run. So we just need to make sure that it is done to spec. And again, once you tell it the right thing to do, it'll do the right thing over and over, which is part of our quality program.
Yeah, I love these machines.
Now, so now she'll load it up, and then this will probably run. How long will this program run?
About 2 hours.
2 hours? What's the longest time you've had?
I want to say 5 hours.
5 hours?
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
like 400 feet.
okay, and what's the shortest you've ever done on here?
Oh, it's like an hour.
An hour, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
You can see, again, smaller parts.
Yep.
They'll load it up, bring it out. Over here are the little brother and sister to this robot.
Oh yeah.
These aren't running right now. We do a lot of step things here. Oh, it actually is. Okay. So, again, laser cut the part. In this case, it's a step. We call it a kick plate. And with our lasers, we've put in the brand or the logo.
Yep.
So now we're going to use magnets to position the part, take it over the press brake.
And this is for Grady and all my friends and Jeff and everybody over at Keystone. Look, you're getting your parts made.
There you go. And then over here again, we can laser cut whatever they want. Here's another brand,
Yeah.
here's another brand. So however they want to do it, because all it is we're just scissors and we're cutting it. So with fabrication, we've shown you scissors, we showed you how we fold stuff. Now here's where we glue stuff, and it's just called welding.
Right.
So welding, we do a lot of different types. There's chassis welding, where we're welding on the chassis. We have robotic welding, and then this is bench welding. So we design our own fixtures. We'll do aluminum, we'll do steel. It can be small runs, it can be larger runs, but they'll just basically weld on the table. And it can be literally a wide range. It can be bumpers, it can be trays, twin boxes. On the non-RV side, it touches about every sector.
Yep.
We'll load the stick into here.
Nothing right now.
And then right there's the laser. And it can cut small pieces or large pieces. It just depends. So here, just a couple feet. The advantage of the tube laser is we can do multiple operations at the same time. So if it requires a notch, a square, an oval, a cutout. The other thing we can do is
right here.
do what we call tab and knots, and we can, in effect, create its own fixture. So we'll put a tab on one part, a notch on the other, and now the part fits together positively. And again, that's just one of those other quality things we can do, because now we're positively locating, and we can't, it's going to be off. Because, again, laser cut tolerances are holding it together. So he's programming it. Tube lasers, we got our first one. We were so excited. We were using it for the medical field. We did hospital beds, stretcher beds, and wheelchairs, and we're able to do things that we could not do before. The challenge is once you have one, you're kind of in trouble, because as soon as it breaks down, it's like,
Yeah.
So today we have 7 spread across our campuses, but it just allows us to do high quality work that otherwise would be very time consuming on other methods of operation. On the hospital beds, stretcher beds, and wheelchairs, if you think about it, you have parts that assemble together and they're in space, and this part has to line up with this part. So the whole location is really important. The other thing is, in a medical setting, you can't have burrs. You don't want to draw blood when you're, because of a sharp edge or whatever. So again, quality built in from the ground up. And the cool thing about on the RV industry is when we're doing high-tech parts for other industries, we're using the same equipment, the same quality procedures to do it for the RV industry as well. So again,
Fascinating.
scissors for tubing. This is our service side of things. This is where we do retrofits.
Ah,
So,
looks like this is getting all new suspension.
yeah, so this is a MORryde pin box. We're going to use some of these on units here. So these are conventional acid springs.
Yep.
And the tires and wheels are connected here. So when one tire hits a bump, it's connected together. The other tire feels it. The leaf spring deflects and moves up and down.
Right.
And that's how you cushion and absorb road shock. The way to think about suspension systems, what we really want is as much flexibility as possible. If I were to stand on a table and jump, I don't want to land lock leg. That would jar my body.
Right.
What I want is I want flexibility. Well, we want your suspension to be flexible to move up and down so that it can cushion the shock before it gets the frame, the sidewall, and everything inside the unit. This setup has been around for years. It's the conventional one used in the industry. From unloaded to maximum travel, these springs travel on average about 2 inches.
Correct.
So the upgrade that we have is when a unit comes here, is we're going to cut everything off. You can see right here, we've cut, all that's left is the center equalizer on this one. This is a redwood. That was using a MORryde. We
Yep.
called it the 4000. So this would be a momentum, in which that independent suspension system with disc brakes.
One day.
Won't be able to show you the different processes, but basically we take everything off, and then our suspension system, it looks like an axle, except there's no beam to connect the wheels together. So we have independent wheel action.
Right.
We'll show you in a second a double rubber shear spring assembly. It gives you 5.5 inches of travel. Our hanger, instead of being 3 inches wide, is this. So what you're getting with the MORryde independent suspension system is just the strongest, the most durable, the best performing suspension system on the market. It's been around for over 20 years, but it's become an overnight success in the last couple years because of the power of social media. We hooked up with an influencer in the fall of 2020, Chad and Tara. And their video went out. And before, we were doing 3 or 4 installations a week, but as word got out and the people who came here started talking about it, all of a sudden, we got way out on lead time. And today, we're in June, and we probably have 6 or 7 appointments through the rest of the year at doing 10 plus a week. We're looking to expand our capacity even further, but when someone comes in here, we're gonna take everything off, put it all on. You can see he's doing alignment. This has the ability to set the toe and camber, which is unlike any other suspension on the market.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
nice.
when it goes out, now you have durability, you have strength, and you have performance.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then manufacturers started talking and saying, what are consumers doing? And consumers were saying, well, can I get it on a new trailer? I don't want to have to wait a long time. And why can't I get on a new trailer? And so for years, it was just the high-end, the DRVs, the New Horizons that were using it, the Lux. And then in recent months, now Grand Design on Solitude and Momentum offers it from the factory. Alliance offers it on Paradigm. Forest River, Riverstone, and then some other brands are prototyping it right now.
Okay.
So let's go over to the showroom and we'll show you some of the common upgrade products that people do. And it goes the full range from if you have a small travel trailer all the way up to if you have the luxurious fifth wheel.